In this video, we will dive into a very important technique in consulting called top-down communication. It is useful for all kinds of consulting, so not only strategy consulting, but also technology consulting. In short, if you ever have a necessity to present insights, reports, or any type of metric evaluated result, like a benchmark, to your client, then the top-down communication principle is basically one of the first basic techniques that you should master. So let's start by defining top-down communication. Picture being in a job where you're swimming in raw data, analysis, and reports. Instead of drowning your audience in the details, which is what a lot of junior consultants do, they try to do the opposite. They try to do down to top communication. So they are basically giving a review of the analysis that they did. They are starting where the analysis started, how they did it, what data they gathered. But this is kind of the wrong approach. Instead of drowning your audience in the details, you present the major insights first, and then, if necessary, you dive deeper. So only if further questions about how the analysis was done, how the data was gathered, are coming from the audience, only then do you have your material for diving deeper ready. For example, typically in consulting, this is called your backup slides, right? So you have one major presentation. The major presentation just presents the major insights for the audience. What is the major insight you gained and what is the recommendation that you derive from it? Maybe you even have multiple options ready for the audience, so you present that. And then if more detailed questions come from the audience, you need to have your backup slides ready to present them the details if they want to. Especially a lot of junior consultants, analysts feel the need to over-explain their report. The reason being that they want to somehow prove that they have actually done the work. They want the customer to recognize the amount of work that they've done. But, if people wanted to know how much work it actually was, if they didn't already know that, they would not have delegated that work to you in the first place. If people had no idea how much work this is, and they were under the impression that this was very easy work in the first place, they would have tried to do it themselves. Probably they have most likely also tried to do it themselves, so they most likely know already how difficult and how exhausting probably the work was that you did. So you don't need to give a lot of evidence. Most likely questions about how you did your work will only come to better understand the data that was used to derive your insights. So they want to understand how you came to your conclusion. They do not want to understand how many hours you spent in the office doing this. The idea of top-down communication pairs seamlessly with the so-called pyramid principle. Think of it like an iceberg. While the bulk lies below the surface of the iceberg, the most important part that actually matters to onlookers, for example, for the crew of a ship steering through the ocean, is the actual tip of the iceberg. So they want to know that there is an iceberg, that hey, there is something going on in the market, you need to react to this, right? So that's the actual importance. So you want to present them the top of the iceberg, and that's already enough to most of your clients. So the pyramid principle itself is not necessarily about only providing the key insights. It is about starting at the top and then working your way downwards. Let's bring it home with a specific example, right? So Imagine walking up to a healthcare CEO and throwing detailed issues about a specific department. They'd be lost by the time you'd come to the actual core insights. Instead, if you first provided a broader context and gradually narrowed it down, it would make much more sense. So, the next time you're in a consulting project, try to follow the top-down communication approach. Start with the main insights first and work your way downwards. Decide what information is really necessary to get the key insight, the key message of your report, and have more specific details in your backup slides. I hope this video was helpful. If you want to get more content like this, consider giving this YouTube channel a subscribe. I will have more consulting related content in the future. And I hope I will be seeing you in the next video like this. Until then, have a good day. Bye bye.